Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。中新社记者提问：据报道，俄罗斯、中国、巴基斯坦。
China News Service is reported that Russia, China, and Pakistan have proposed a draft resolution to the UN Security Council. Can you brief us on that? The U.S. attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities seriously violate the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and has exacerbated tensions in the Middle East. The UN Security Council cannot sit idly by. China, Russia, and Pakistan proposed a draft resolution to the UN Security Council calling for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire, protection of civilians, respect for international law, and engagement in dialogue and negotiation. Together, we sent out the message of justice that reflects the strong call from the international community. We hope that Council members can jointly support the draft resolution and enable the Security Council to play its role for the maintenance of international peace and security. Next one, please.
Question for another agency. Yes.
阿纳多卢昨天，中方谴责了美国袭击伊朗的核设施。现在，全世界看到了美方对于一个主权国家进行了侵略，使用武力，并且美方也有危险的先例，也就是攻击核设施。中方对此有何评论？
China has illustrated its stance clearly. Attacking the nuclear facilities under the safeguards of IAEA seriously violates the principles and purposes of the UN Charter and international law. China urges parties to the conflict to prevent the escalation of the situation and firmly rejects the spillover of the battlefield and get back on the track of political settlement. China is willing to work with relevant sides to enhance coordination and communication, pull strength, uphold justice, and play a constructive role of restoring peace in the Middle East. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。北京青年报记者提问：我们关注到近日从土库曼斯坦接返自伊朗撤离中国公民的临时航班已经顺利抵达国内，想问一下中方从伊朗和以色列撤离的行动最新进。
We noted that the temporary flight evacuating Chinese nationals from Iran has arrived in China from Turkmenistan. Can you share us with the information? Acting on the decisions and plans of Party Central Committee, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, China diplomatic and consular missions in Iran and other countries, the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation Administration worked together for the evacuation of 3,125 Chinese nationals from Iran to safety. Among them, there are a 10-year-old baby, a 70-year-old senior, and citizens from Hong Kong and Taiwan. As the Chinese nationals who are willing to leave Iran have all been safely evacuated. The large-scale and well-ordered evacuation of Chinese personnel in Iran has been completed by the Chinese government. At the same time, China's embassy in Israel helped and organized the evacuation of over 500 Chinese nationals from Israel to safety, and helped some nationals from the UK, India, and Poland safely evacuate. During the evacuation, countries including Iran, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Armenia, Turkey, Iraq, the UAE, Oman, Kuwait, Egypt, and Jordan offered China valuable support. We express sincere appreciation for that. Still, some Chinese nationals choose to stay in Iran and Israel. Our ministry reminded them to stay safe. Our colleagues in Chinese diplomatic and consular missions in Iran and Israel have stayed on their post and will continue to do everything possible to offer Chinese nationals their assistance. Next question, please.
这是迪拜中央卫视记者。
China Arab TV. Yesterday, Iran's parliament backed the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, but it's up to Iran's Supreme National Security Council to make the decision. What's China's response, and did China have phone calls with the Iranian side?
The Persian Gulf and nearby waters are an important route for international trade in goods and energy. Keeping the region safe and stable serves the common interests of the international community. China calls on the international community to step up effort to promote de-escalation of the conflict and prevent the regional turmoil from having a greater impact on global economic growth. Next question, please.
发言人好，中国日报提问：近日，中国、孟加拉国、巴基斯坦三方赴外。
The China-Pakistan Bangladesh Vice Foreign Minister Foreign Secretary meeting was held in Kunming, Yunnan. Can you share with some information? On June 19th, the China-Bangladesh Pakistan Vice Foreign Minister Foreign Secretary meeting was held in Kunming, Yunnan. Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong, Bangladesh's Acting Foreign Secretary Ruhul Alam Siddiq, and Pakistan's Additional Foreign Secretary for Asia-Pacific Imran Siddiqui attended the meeting, and Pakistani Foreign Secretary Amma Balak joined the first phase of the discussion via video link. Bangladesh and Pakistan are China's good neighbors, friends, and partners. They're also China's key cooperation partner in high-quality Belt and Road cooperation. As important countries in the Global South and the region, the three countries share the mission to achieve national rejuvenation and modernization. The trilateral cooperation between the three countries is in the interests of their people and conducive to regional peace, stability, development, and prosperity. The meeting was fruitful in four aspects. First, the three sides agreed to work together under the principles of good neighborliness and friendship, equality and mutual trust, openness and inclusiveness, shared development and mutual benefit, and focus on growing the economy and making people's lives better. Second, the three sides agreed to discuss and implement cooperation programs in 12 areas, namely industry, trade, maritime affairs, water resources, climate change, agriculture, human resources, think tank, public health, education, culture, and youth. Third, the three sides will establish a working group at the Director General level and turn the vision of cooperation into reality in a result-oriented way. Fourth, not targeting any third party, the trilateral cooperation upholds true multilateralism and open regionalism and aims to improve the livelihood of people in this region. Next question, please.
Just a brief follow-up.
追问关于霍尔木兹的海峡的问题，卢比奥在与福克斯新闻进行采访的时候提到，希望中方能够阻止伊朗关闭霍尔木兹海峡，中方是否有这样的计划？外交部能否提供更多的信息？中方在斡旋方面能够发挥什么样的作用？
Regarding your question on Hormuz Strait, I've answered your question just now. Regarding your question between China and Iran, I want to stress that China maintained communication with Iranian side on the current situation. Currently, a member of the political committee of the CPC Central Committee, Foreign Minister Wang Yi, held a phone call with Iranian Foreign Minister. China is willing to work with relevant sides, including Iran, to enhance cooperation, enhance communication, and play a constructive role to destabilize the situation. Next question, please.
Thank you, spokesperson. Ukraine from News Agency. My question.
梧桐社是关于俄乌问题的问题。佩斯科夫提到，俄罗斯在俄乌冲突中有着战略优势，并不想要结束这场战争。 现在逼迫防御俄罗斯的大规模竞争和攻击是乌克兰现在面对的情况。佩斯科夫做的这一表态，说明俄罗斯将要无视国际社会所做出的努力，包括其最亲密的伙伴中国和巴西的倡议。我想问一下，外交部对佩斯科夫的表态有何评论？如果俄罗斯不愿意停止战斗，现在谈论停火和谈判是否还合适？
On the Ukraine crisis, China's position is consistent and clear. China always believes that dialogue and negotiation is the only viable way out the crisis. We hope parties will remain committed to the political settlement of the crisis and work together for de-escalation. China stands ready to work with the international community to continue playing a constructive role for resolving the crisis and realizing lasting peace. Next question, please.
Question for another agency.
阿纳多卢，霍尔木兹海峡将近1/2的中国进口石油都要通过这一海峡进行运输。中方有没有其他的计划？如果海峡被关闭的话，那么如何进行运输？第二，你刚才提到了王毅和伊朗外长的通话，这是美方攻击伊朗核设施之后所进行的通话。
Regarding your question on the Hormuz Strait, I have answered that. Regarding on your question on the communication between China and Iran, after Israel's attack on Iran, Foreign Minister Wang Yi has held a phone call with the Iranian Foreign Minister. Next question, please.
谢谢迪拜中央卫视再次提问。
China Arab TV, according to sources, Iranian Foreign Minister have arrived in Moscow and will hold a meeting with President Putin. Will Foreign Minister of Iran arrive in China, and do you have any information to share with us?
Regarding on the communication between China and Iran, I've answered that question. China is willing to maintain communication with Iran and other parties and play a constructive role for the de-escalation of the situation. Next question, please. Any other questions? That'll be the end of today's press conference. Thank you very much.